In a quiet corner of the metropolis, there stood an Italian restaurant known for its exquisite cuisine and old-world charm. This was La Trattoria di Sogno, a place that held a mysterious allure that extended far beyond its delectable menu. Its reputation was such that it drew patrons from near and far, each seeking a taste of its famed offerings. One foggy evening, the creak of the restaurant's doors echoed through the silence, announcing the arrival of a solitary diner. The maitre d', a stoic figure with piercing eyes, greeted the newcomer with a formal nod. With a grand sweep of his arm, he led the visitor into the heart of the restaurant, towards a corner bathed in soft, dim light. The air seemed to thicken as they ventured deeper inside, and a hush fell over the dining room. The chatter and clatter of cutlery faded into a distant hum. An unsettling quiet settled over the dining room as the diner perused the menu. With a grave expression, the maitre d' recommended the chef's special, Il Sogno Oscuro. The diner, intrigued by the promise of an extraordinary culinary experience, nodded in agreement. As the waiter retreated into the kitchen, the air in La Trattoria di Sogno seemed to grow denser, charged with an energy that made the hairs on the back of the diner's neck stand on end. The waiter returned, carrying a dish that looked as ordinary as any other, yet the diner could sense something distinct about it. Shadows seemed to dance and play on the walls, creating an eerie light show that was both captivating and disconcerting. The diner picked up the silverware, the cold metal feeling strangely heavy in their hands. As the knife cut through the dish, a rush of chilling wind swept through the room, causing a shiver to run down the diner's spine. They lifted the fork to their lips, and as the first bite of Il Sogno Oscuro touched their tongue, a taste of darkness, a sensation transcending flavor, flooded their senses. In the midst of this surreal experience, a spectral waiter materialized at the edge of the diner's vision. Dressed in attire from a time long past, he stood by the table, his lifeless eyes locked onto the diner. His presence, though ghostly, was strangely comforting. The room seemed to warp around them, shadows dancing on the walls as the air thickened with an unseen energy. With a silent gesture, as if directing a spectral orchestra, the apparition beckoned the diner to follow. The diner, unable to resist the phantom's call, rose from the table, leaving behind a half-eaten plate of Il Sogno Oscuro. As they followed the spectral waiter, the restaurant transformed. The familiar surroundings gave way to a corridor of swirling mist, an ethereal path that seemed to stretch on into infinity. The spectral waiter led them into an ethereal realm, a forgotten part of La Trattoria di Sogno, where time seemed to stand still, and the air was heavy with the echoes of 1,000 untold stories. They arrived at a forgotten dining area, where a ghostly chef tirelessly prepared dishes that no one would taste. The room was a timeless echo of what once was, draped in dusty cloths and filled with an eerie silence. At the far end, a spectral figure stood, a culinary artist trapped in an eternal performance. The spectral chef turned slowly, revealing hollow eyes that mirrored the waiter's. His gaze was heavy with a sorrow that extended beyond the realm of the living. With a voice that carried the weight of 1,000 untold stories, he spoke. "The recipe," he whispered, "cursed, binding our souls to this place." The diner, transfixed by the chef's tale, felt a shiver of realization. The spectral loop, the eternal preparation of meals, the endless dance of culinary servitude, all were now his fate too. He was part of the haunting tableau, a player in a ghostly drama that transcended time itself. The diner, now part of this haunting tableau, joined the spectral chef in the timeless dance of culinary servitude. La Trattoria di Sogno continued to lure unsuspecting souls, offering them a taste of darkness. The diner, once a curious seeker of culinary delights, had been drawn into the spectral ballet of this timeless restaurant. Unseen by the living, they joined the ghostly chef in his eternal servitude, preparing meals that would never be eaten. In the real world, the restaurant's charm remained undiminished. Its old-world allure and whispers of an unforgettable dining experience continued to draw patrons from near and far. Each plate served held the potential of ensnaring another soul, another player in the spectral ballet. The cycle, as unending as the spectral waiter's rounds and the ghostly chef's ceaseless preparations, continued in its haunting rhythm. Each unsuspecting diner, each taste of the Il Sogno Oscuro, added another thread to the restaurant's spectral tapestry. And so the spectral embrace of La Trattoria di Sogno awaits the next unsuspecting diner, forever frozen in time.